Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union has helped people save money for almost 80 years. Whether it's free checking, financing a vehicle, or purchasing that new home, Alcoa 10 is here to help you. Better rates, better service. Check them out at atfcu.com.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Member NCUA.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event.
Guess what time it is? My time. You can check your iPhone. Better say it's our time.
With your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Yeah.
58 points.
Can we start with the positive?
58 points. The positive is 58 points is more than 46. That's why. That's why I said that. 58 points, yucky as that is, it is still more than Vanderbilt, who had 46. Welcome to the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. 865-200-5503 is our telephone number. That is the Be Dry waterproofing hotline. Glad that you are joining us this morning. Ben McKee, Jason Swain here. 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. 8:50 a.m. 100.9 FM. Rocky Top Sports. Swain Event app, free for Android, Apple devices. And you can view the show on 3 different platforms: YouTube, Facebook Live, and on Periscope. Did y'all know that Manny Machado was my cousin?
Now you want to talk baseball when that money's involved.
Hey, man, he's my cousin. This probably explains why I like a certain type of food, I guess. I'm trying to just figure out ways to make it seem like he really is my cousin. Okay?
Well, here's how you all are cousins. Is you went and trained in Fort Lauderdale for the draft, correct? With Jay Wade.
It was Naples, Florida.
Naples, what? Close to Miami, maybe?
Yeah, 45 minutes actually.
Okay, see, Manny Machado is from Miami.
That's my
you chose to go train for the combine in Naples because you wanted to stay with your cousin Manny Machado.
I do have some Dominicans in my family. I mean, just saying.
Jason Sueno.
That's right.
That sounded more French, but
that's right, man. Machado, holla at your cousin. Holla at your cousin.
Jason O. Suenos.
That's right. That's
the Suenos are from Miami.
That's right, man. That's right. We migrated down from Alabama down to Miami. 300 million.
Guaranteed.
10 years. What was I doing wasting my time playing football? Golly, man.
What do you think Kyler Murray's thought was yesterday? I actually respect Kyler Murray in the sense of he's playing football because that's what he loves more, and I am a huge fan, huge believer of if you are trying to pick between two sports, go with the one in terms of when you're older, because when you're young, you should play every sport possible. You should do all that you can. But if you have to pick between one or the other, just anything in life, you need to follow your heart. Do what you enjoy the most, and that's football for him. But on the flip side, baseball money is quite nice compared to football money if you can reach the top of the mountain. It may be hard to get to the top of the mountain than football, and it may take you. Tell you what, you get paid.
Well, I mean, think about how long it probably will take him to get called up when he plays baseball. Mm-hmm. And let's say he is a first-round pick, which he should be. He's going to be given every opportunity to get the keys to the kingdom. You look at the last couple of years in the NFL, and the Jets, the Cardinals, the Browns. I mean, you can play early as a rookie. And if you show a little bit of progress your first year, I mean, you're gonna get time to be the guy, be the franchise quarterback. And let's say for whatever reason you end up like RG3 and you get demoted as that first round pick that the franchise feels like you are the quarterback for that organization for the next 10, 12 years. But let's say after 3 or 4 years or 5 years, they decide that you're not that guy. As long as your character is good, you're going to be a backup like Mark Sanchez. And guess what happens when you're the backup like Mark Sanchez?
You still make good money.
You still get paid. And you're not getting hit. So, Kyler Murray, I mean, I get it. At the end of the day, he's doing what he believes he should do and what makes him happy and what he has a passion for. And you should never fault anybody for going after their passion. You look at Tim Tebow, and he's playing baseball. I don't understand why anyone would have a problem with Tim Tebow pursuing his passion. If you do, something's wrong with you, not Tim Tebow. And so, Kyler Murray, go for it, man. But golly, why didn't I play baseball? I'm walking around dribbling the basketball growing up. I should have been walking around swinging a bat. That's what I should have been doing.
Should have.
Golly, man. $300 million.
And plus, you get to live in San Diego, which not a bad place to live.
You know how petty I can be with $300 million?
You can be very petty. You know how many wooden middle fingers you can buy? Like that one for what we had a month or so ago?
Yeah. Man.
You buy a wooden middle finger and place it in front of every single person that you don't like.
Golly, $300 million. I can just move to right next to one of these obnoxious Florida fans on Twitter. I could just find a house that is for sale right next to them, move right next to them, and build a wooden middle finger right in my backyard and point in the direction of them, and just say, "Go Vols." I can do that.
You know what I would do?
So petty.
You know that little opening in Sanford Stadium in one of the end zones?
Yeah.
That's where I would put the wooden middle finger in Athens. Is right there to where you can see it when they're playing football. It'd be hard to – I guess there's a little crack in Bryant-Denny that you can see to the outside. I'd put one in that little crack. Vanderbilt Stadium just is a middle finger.
Oh, man. I need a laugh to get me away from thinking about last night's basketball game. Because in the first half, I'm sitting there watching the game. And usually it's appointment television. Everybody in that room, don't breathe because I can't hear the broadcast. If you got to breathe, go in another room. Don't talk. Don't look at me. Leave me alone. If you ain't bleeding, leave me alone. If you can breathe, if you're not bleeding, leave me alone. I'm watching the game. Locked in. I'm watching my Vols play. I love this basketball team. I still love my basketball team. I love my basketball team last night. But I was watching the game a little bit differently. I was like, man, what? Something don't feel right. What? Is it me? Is it? Man, I'm expecting a little bit more. I'm expecting a little bit more I'm expecting more of a punch on offense. And golly, these guys are hitting these threes now. Vanderbilt ended up 32%, which ain't bad.
But they were 41% in the first half.
But exactly, they
5
were
of 12.
They were on fire in the first half.
And they
I'm
finished
like
2 of 11 in the second half.
Like, what are we doing here? And yesterday's touchdown turnover was in 3 categories from the Kentucky game. 3 categories on our season average in the SEC play will we hit that season average. And we picked rebounds, we picked 3-point percentage, and we picked field goal percentage. And we felt like it would be a touchdown that Tennessee last night would hit their season average in those 3 categories. And they did not hit that in field goal percentage. They did not hit that in 3-point percentage. And in rebounds,
what was the season average?
They did 36.
Okay, so they hit the rebounds.
40.
And then we also added on the blocks, and I believe their season average going into the game was 6 or 5.6.
5.6, so 6.
And they had 4 blocks.
Yeah,
so out of the categories that you selected, they achieved 1.
I will tell you, though, Vanderbilt had some rinky-dink looking layups, and I like to count those as blocks because Tennessee really altered Vanderbilt's shot in the paint with some of those layups. It was like, it had to be like 5 or 6 layups where I was looking like, wait a minute, you got a scholarship at Vanderbilt? Throwing layups like that?
I mean, they are 0-14.
It was some
13.
really, really poor attempts at layups around the basket, and Sean Farnham said it right. Why don't you just gather yourself and go off 2 feet? Why you're running in off 1 foot, off balance, slinging it up? Just jump stop. Jump stop, go up with 2 hands, go up strong, get the foul. It was weird, but I wasn't mad at all because that meant Tennessee was going back the other direction with the fast break. They won the game. Did not get anywhere close to their season average in points because they averaged almost 88, 89, something like that almost.
A lot more than what they scored last night.
You do have games like this. You play too many games in college basketball not to have games like this. Here is the worry. And this is a legitimate, fair worry if you are a Tennessee fan. I'm not talking about if you're Rick Barnes because you see the game different. You've coached so long, you're good. And this is something Rick Barnes said on yesterday, like, hey, they'll make shots, they're fine. But after the loss to Kentucky and then seeing what happened last night, it's a fair feeling, if you are a fan, to wonder, did we peak too early? It's fair. I think that's a fair question. If you're a fan, you watch last night's game, and you know that it's all about the tournament. It's all about how you played it in the season. Can we get back to that peak of Tennessee basketball that was early in the season that we saw, that we witnessed? Did we peak too early?
I don't. We can get into it a little bit more, but just off the dome, I'm not willing to say that they have peaked too early. But this is definitely a different basketball team than it was 2-3 weeks ago, and I am very concerned for Saturday.
865-255-03 B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Stay with us. Be right back.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ has a new slew of daily specials for the fall. Enjoy a different special meal every day, like the smokehouse stew, barbecue cheddar meatloaf, or the smoked turkey and dressing, which includes sliced smoked turkey and cornbread dressing paired with sautéed Brussels sprouts, mashed potatoes, and a side of turkey gravy. While Dead End offers a different specialty meal each day, you can get their hillbilly chili every day. There is always something new at Dead End BBQ. Located off of Sutherland Avenue, Dead End BBQ. The fall flavor search is over.
Do you want a custom themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Well, look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. Every design has you, the fan, in mind. Their tumblers and bottles are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the market. From stainless steel sippy cups to tumblers and sports bottles, Game Time Sidekicks offers something for the fan of all ages to rep their team with. They have many different logo options, so fans will have something they are proud to carry around all the time. Use promo code SWAIN at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase at GameTimeSidekicks.com. They also offer $5 flat rate shipping. Be sure to check out the Game Time Workshop on the website and customize your tumbler to make it one of a kind with things like your nickname, number, or initials. Game Time Sidekicks. Show your colors and carry your team.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Are you looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? If so, then call me, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. I take a no-nonsense approach to the real estate transaction. No fluff, just facts. Having lived and worked in the Knoxville area for 19 years, I am very familiar with the local real estate landscape and am ready to help you get the most money for your property with the least amount of hassle in the shortest amount of time. No one likes for their home to sit on the market for months at a time. If a straightforward approach to your real estate needs is what you prefer, then give me a call. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty at 865-694-5904 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible. But remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty. Say Garza. 865-540-8300. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
And you know this, man.
All day yesterday, my kids were going around the house saying, Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt. All day. All day yesterday.
I wonder where they got that from.
Well, my oldest thinks it's the funniest thing ever. So she was doing it yesterday.
Oh, you know.
And then if she's doing it, the little ones are going to follow her. So all they did was say that yesterday, Vanderbilt, and it was the most hilarious thing ever. I thought about taking a video, but I wasn't gonna put that online anyways. So it was no point in taking a video.
Well, you could have taken a video and shared it amongst your friends.
Well, they'll be downstairs here in a little bit, and then maybe during the next break, they'll do it for you. How about that? Because I can hear them right now getting dressed for school.
Fair enough.
865-200-5503 B-Drive Waterproofing Hotline. Here's the worry. After last night's game, and I do not want to lose sight that this team won last night, okay? They won. They won. They was never really threatened. They won. But Vanderbilt is what we call booty terrible.
And quite frankly,
they're bad.
They deserve their own phrase. We like to use that phrase a lot here on the Swain Event. Vanderbilt deserves its own phrase this morning. That's how bad they are. They scored 46 points. 46. It's season low.
But booty terrible, Vanderbilt is. Not Niehaus, but Neesmith is going to be a good player.
He's reigning SEC Freshman of the Week.
Yeah, he's going to be a good player for Vanderbilt long term. If he doesn't transfer, we'll see how many players Bryce Drew can keep, because you going over in the SEC and you're having problems with guys quitting and guys playing hard, then there's something internally there that doesn't look good. So we'll see how many of those players stick around there at Vanderbilt. But the question is, did this basketball team peak? I mean, my boy Sean Farnham, he's a dead end guy. I mean, we can't make Sean look wrong here, because Sean a couple weeks ago said that Tennessee was the best basketball team in the country. And you know what? At the time, he was right. You change. You change from week to week. And at that moment, I thought Sean was right. I don't think Tennessee's the best basketball team right now. I think they may not be a top 5 basketball team. They may be ranked top 5, but they may not be a top 5 basketball team. I don't know that. I'm not saying they are or they're not. I don't know right now because of how we played in our last 2 games. I need the LSU game. I need the Kentucky game to really, really see where we are and if we truly peaked early in the season. Ben, a lot of people are talking about Tennessee peak early. How do you feel about that? Is it too early to tell for you?
I don't think you can look back and determine when somebody has peaked until after the season, until you see the total body of work, and you can look back and say, okay, that stretch of when Tennessee beat Gonzaga, beat Memphis, and through the first couple of games of the SEC play, that was the part of the season when Tennessee was playing its best basketball. So I'm not going to look at somebody crazy if they say Tennessee did peak too early, but I would also say that how do you know Tennessee peaked too early when there is still a lot to play for? Tennessee is still tied for first in the SEC, controls its own destiny in terms of winning the SEC regular season championship. There's still an SEC tournament to be played and still an NCAA tournament to be played that Tennessee is capable of winning the whole thing. So I won't think anybody's crazy for saying that Tennessee peaked too early. I think if you say that, you're kind of capping the season and ending it right there. There's still a lot of basketball left to be played, and I don't really think you can determine when a team peaked until after the season, until you see their total body of work.
That's fair. That's fair. How about this? And this is a fair question, considering that we're not Rick Barnes, we are not on that staff, but watching how we played against Kentucky and watching a little bit of yesterday's game, here is what I think is a fair question. Is our basketball team tired? Do we look tired? And if we do look tired, what do you do? Like, what do you do to help that? Because we had this conversation during the break. It's not like this is, a football team where I remember we played Alabama in 2003 and the game went into 5 overtimes. It was like playing a game and a half. And Monday, we really didn't do anything. I mean, we still showed up. You still had your treatment, still had meetings, things like that. But it was more of a walkthrough. And that walkthrough was to save our legs and help our legs, kind of come back to us. We didn't hit. We didn't do anything. But football is not a game of skill like basketball and golf, where if you want to be good at golf, you got to go play golf. You got to go swing each and every day. Well, basketball is a game of technique. You got to go shoot the basketball. If you're in a slump, not shooting certainly is not going to help your shooting. You got to go shoot. Well, to shoot, you got to have your legs to go shoot, because if you don't have your legs, the ball's going to fall short over and over and over. I think a huge sign to see if or a team is tired, they are losing their legs, is how many shots are falling short. Now, you want those shots to be online. You want those shots to be long. If they're short, that's a sign that maybe we don't have our legs. If rest is something that we may need, or we look tired, what the heck do you do if you're in a shooting slump? How do you rest?
I don't know. And I thought watching the game last night, it did look as if Tennessee was tired. But I thought you made a good point that kind of changed my mind during the break when you and I were talking about it. And that's exactly what you're saying, is that when you are tired, your legs are the first to go. And as a result, your jump shot is usually short. And you see shots hit the front of the rim. I don't recall. Maybe I need to go back and watch it more in depth. It's a little hard to see in person, but I don't recall seeing a lot of shots fall short. A lot of shots were just offline. And that was the case with Lamonte Turner's shot in the entire second half. The shot was not online. Admiral had one shot that was short. You mentioned that during the break, but he also had a couple shots that were long. And Kyle Alexander, he's just not taking shots right now. Took one shot last night. Grant, a lot of Grant shots, it feels like they just rimmed out. I mean, he was still 7 of 13, over 50% from the field. My thing with Grant is, why did it take so long to get him involved in the game? I mean, it took until the 12-minute mark, 10-minute mark of the second half before Tennessee's offense really started to run through Grant Williams. It should not take that long.
They were doubling him.
They were.
On the catch. They were doubling him, really forcing Grant to fan it out, which, I saw a tweet from someone that was like, man, stop taking threes. I was like, well, they're doubling Grant. He's getting the ball out, and they're rotating the ball to the open guy, and the open guy so happens to be behind the three-point line. So you can't really complain that guys are getting wide open shots because they're doubling Grant. So I didn't have a problem with the shots. It was that we just was not making them. Yeah. And then defensively, we had some lapses, and then there was a couple plays where, and this lines up with the theory that maybe this team is tired. When you're also tired, you make more mental mistakes. You make more mental mistakes when you are tired. And there were two times when, like, Jordan Bone left his feet to make a pass or make a decision in the air and turn the ball over. I'm like, whoa. That's not Jordan Bone that I know. That's not Jordan Bone that I've seen this entire season.
That's the freshman and sophomore Jordan Bone.
Yeah, correct. That was uncharacteristic. And so it's fair to wonder, okay, are we tired? Because we're making those mistakes. We had 11 turnovers, probably a little bit more than the season average, but it was the type of turnovers we were making. It wasn't like the alley-oop attempt to Jordan Bowen that was just a little bit off. That happens, cool. I'm talking about boneheaded turnovers where you're leaving your feet to make a pass, which is a cardinal sin in basketball. That is why I wonder if we're tired or not.
Well, and like I was saying about the shooting, very few shots were short, which is not a sign of a tired basketball team. And a lot of shots were just rimming out, or they just weren't online. And then when you compact that with kind of the decisions that Jordan Bone was making, I chalk it up to confidence. I think Kentucky sucked the confidence completely out of this basketball team. That's what it looked like to me last night, more than just being tired. There were people saying that Tennessee wasn't giving effort last night. That is absolutely not true. Rick Barnes even said after the game that he loved his team's effort. He thought that they came back and had the best practice in 3 weeks yesterday. Thought his team responded really well to the mistakes that they made at Kentucky, saw it on film, recognized it, and then tonight overcorrected it. He thought they overcorrected. So effort was not a problem. And this team may be tired, but personally I'm chalking it up to lack of confidence. That's what this basketball team looks like right now, that they lack the confidence that they were playing with a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, when you have guys continuing to shoot the ball, I don't know if I would say lack of confidence. For me, I mean, I understand you saying that. If guys who are open, like Jordan Bowden and Lamonte Turner, they were open and they decided not to shoot the ball, then I would go, man, that's a lack of confidence because you're not you're not sure you're going to make it. I do 100% agree with the overcorrection where they passed the ball too much, trying to share it because they didn't share it enough against Kentucky. And you heard the word, selfish be mentioned, that we were selfish against Kentucky. And I did see us try to overcorrect and pass the ball too much, especially Jordan Bone when he's around the rim. He can jump, he can elevate. Yeah, he's not 6'8", but man, when he jumps, he can finish around the rim too. And so I did definitely see that. Now, as low scoring as the game was, you look at Vanderbilt's side, and they held Vanderbilt to 32% shooting. So really clamped down on defense there in the second half. 32% shooting.
That's pretty incredible. I thought Tennessee's defense was fairly good within the arc. I think part of the 32% shooting is just that Vanderbilt is a bad basketball team.
They are,
because as much as I love this Tennessee basketball team, I equally hate their perimeter defense. It drives me crazy in basketball games. You saw it hurt them in the first half when Vanderbilt was 5 of 12 from 3, and the perimeter defense wasn't all that great in the second half as well, and Vanderbilt just missed shots and was 2 of 11 from the field from 3. So they held them to a season low 46 points, season low for Vanderbilt, that is. But I do think part of that was the fact that Vanderbilt's just not good, and they were missing several open shots, taking funky layups. Vanderbilt hit 1 3 in the corner where the dude just chunked it over his head and somehow rattled around the rim and went in. It was kind of funky, but I do chalk the 32% up to a little bit of much better defense than the Kentucky game, but also Vanderbilt just they're terrible. It's the worst SEC basketball team I've seen since Kim Anderson's Missouri Tigers.
Ooh.
And they might be worse.
I don't know if they're worse than Kim Anderson's Missouri teams.
Well, did they lose 14 straight?
No, I don't think so. I mean, but the league is a little bit better than when Kim Anderson was.
That's true.
Coaching. Conzo? This is Conzo's second year.
Yes, second.
Yeah, so
even though it feels like he's been there for 10.
So the league has improved because the coaches entering this league has improved, and so. Yeah, this Vanderbilt team is bad. I don't think I'm going to sit here and try to.
Missouri went 2-16 in SEC play that year.
I don't know, man. Both teams are terrible. Both teams are butt booty terrible. No doubt about it. 865-200-5503. Let's get to the phones right quick before we go to break. Let's get to Jay. Jay, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jay.
I thought we looked better last night. We just couldn't. The shots just weren't falling.
They looked better in ways last night. Still have a good ways to go though in terms of correcting some things.
Yes. And when I was watching on Facebook, I noticed the picture. Y'all wasn't showing up picture-wise.
We'll have to check that and correct that during the break.
Oh, okay. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
All right, Jay. Take it easy, man. You said the picture wasn't showing up?
Mm-hmm.
Picture showing up right here, man. Everything's good over here, baby. Over here it's good, Jay. We're good to go.
Try to refresh your browser, see if that helps.
Yeah, if he's watching on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're good. We're good right
Sometimes here. Facebook does that on my end, or when I'm watching on my phone, I just have to kind of close it out, pull it back up, or if I'm on the internet on my computer, I refresh it, and it usually works.
Yeah, we good over here, man. Man, technology sometimes it does what it wants to do, but on this end, it looks to be working just fine. So Jay, yeah, do what Ben said. Ben is the expert here. Refresh that browser. 865-200-5503. Be right back.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
It's freezing in here, Mary. What's wrong with your heater?
The repairman can't get here till next week.
Sugar, you've got the wrong guy. My guy is fast and has free heating service calls when he does the repair.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Hiller. Take advantage of a free service call with any repair.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Craving flavors that don't take hours in the kitchen? Mrs. Grissom's cheese spreads and chicken salads are the perfect go-to. Ready-to-eat meals and snacks found in the meat or dairy section at your local grocery store. Whether you crave the classic Mrs. Grissom's pimento cheese or the gluten-free select varieties like the cranberry pecan chicken salad, enjoy small-town flavor in every bite. Select the best. Select Mrs. Grissom's.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event. Around the SEC, powered by 42nd Street Marketing, your game-winning play call for design, marketing, and branding.
Around the SEC is brought to you by 42nd Street Design. 42sd.com is the website. If you are searching for a logo design, a website design, print design, 42nd Street is the place you need to go. They take care of all that, plus a lot more. And the only company I trust my branding with, that is 42nd Street. Let's go around the SEC this morning. Ben, you want to answer that first?
Yeah, I'll check the phone real quick.
While Ben is answering the phone, going to the text box right quick, and we'll get to around the SEC. Vandy with a nice troll here on the text box. Put a lot of effort into it too. I must give props where props is due. Just want to say, first off, your team stinks. Second, thank you. Like I said previously, Tennessee has benefited from a easy schedule. Your biggest win is against Gonzaga. You admitted yesterday that they haven't played anybody. So how do you know that Gonzaga is a legit team? It's funny how people put words in your mouth, because we were talking about how Gonzaga has not played anybody, and that Tennessee. We didn't really bash Tennessee's schedule.
No,
like that.
I talked about how Tennessee played a good Louisville team, how Tennessee at the time played a good Kansas team, how Tennessee was tested not tested by the Memphis basketball team, but in terms of that environment in FedEx Forum that day, that was a test that day. Gonzaga was a very good basketball team at the time and still is.
Nice try, Vandy.
Well, part of me wonders if it's somebody just trying to troll us in general, acting like a Vanderbilt fan, because me as a fan, like I don't listen to Matt Jones and Kentucky Sports Radio because I don't want to hear about Kentucky Sports Radio if I'm a Tennessee fan. So why would a Vanderbilt fan want to listen to us? I'd like to think we are entertaining, but are we entertaining to the point where
the show's that good, man? The show is that good.
I guess
even Vanderbilt fans want to listen to it.
I guess.
Don't sell yourself short.
I just don't. As a Vanderbilt fan, if I were a Vanderbilt fan, as much as we trash Vanderbilt, I would not want to listen.
Well, I think it's funny that even on this troll, the information is wrong because we crapped on Gonzaga's schedule yesterday. Didn't really crap on Tennessee's schedule, and you did go down and list a ton of teams that were good and a ton of environments that were tough to play in. You did that yesterday, but I'll continue to read this troll because I think it's funny. The Vols are getting exposed as a fraud. Can't let a bad Vandy team give you struggles like that if you're going to consider yourself elite. Take off those orange blinders and anchor down. Oh, man. I think it was a good troll. All right, what we got around the SEC, man?
We have a couple of different notes. The first one is that Kentucky has found its replacement for defensive coordinator. Matt House left to be with the Kansas City Chiefs a couple of weeks ago, and Kentucky is promoting Brad White, who coached the outside linebackers last season. He'll continue to serve as the linebackers coach and will also now be the defensive coordinator. So Kentucky did not take 3 years to hire a coordinator like Tennessee did with its offensive coordinator. And then according to a report, I saw it on ESPN. I don't know if okay, here it is. From AL.com reported on Tuesday that former Houston football coach Major Applewhite will join Alabama's program as an analyst this season. So it will be Applewhite's second stint with Alabama. He spent one season as the school's offensive coordinator in 2007 before joining Texas. And he will now work with the one and only Lyle Allen Jones. So have fun with that.
Lyle's going to be like, hey, man, I got rank around here. You follow my lead.
I'm the senior intern.
I'm the senior analyst. You just the intern analyst. I'm the senior analyst around here. I call the shots in the analyst room. You knew.
Lyle.
I'm a vet. I'm a vet over here. To add a little bit more to the Kentucky news, they did make a hire from within with the defense coordinator, which means they needed a linebacker coach. John Summerall from Ole Miss left Ole Miss to join Kentucky. John played at Kentucky. John is also from Huntsville, Alabama. John is also a Grissom alum. John is also my high school teammate.
And also your friend.
Also my friend.
More importantly.
So I'm really happy for him and his wife Jeannie. They're high school sweethearts, and they got a beautiful family, and it's really cool to see guys who played at a school go back and coach at their school. As emotional as it was for T. Martin returning and how cool that is, I bet it was very emotional for John and his family, him being able to go back to Kentucky, the place where it was the only SEC scholarship offer he got out of high school. Very smart player, very good. Wasn't the most athletic, but a great football player. And he played linebacker there at Kentucky. And he's bounced around. He's coached like Tulane. He joined Neil Brown there at Troy, and then he got an opportunity at Ole Miss. And unfortunately, he leaves after signing day, and they're getting ready to start spring. And if you're Matt Luke, you understand. Like, you understand, man. You're coaching at your alma mater. And you got that job because Hugh Freeze basically crapped down his leg and got in trouble. And so you basically caught the fumble punt. And you're coaching at the school where you went. And so you understand if you're Matt Luke. You're going back home. That's what John is doing. So happy for him. It's going to be a little weird for me, though, because there's a lot more Tennessee-Kentucky hate than Tennessee-Ole Miss hate.
Yeah, just Volstorm, Neyland Mafia, I expect the same type of effort towards Swain and his Kentucky fandom as y'all try to get me and my Vanderbilt fandom.
Don't even try.
Foxfall, trying to Photoshop my face onto Commodores yesterday. Y'all ain't right. So I expect that same smoke towards Swain.
I ain't rooting for Kentucky. I want to lose every game.
Speaking of Kentucky, they beat Missouri last night 66-58. That game was as ugly, as boring as Tennessee Vanderbilt last night. And the biggest storyline to come of that game was the fact that Reed Travis had to leave the game because Keldon Johnson fell on the floor and rolled into Reed Travis's leg, and his knee buckled, and he left the game with a sprained right knee, I believe it was. So obviously we don't wish any Kentucky player to get hurt, but it could impact next Saturday's basketball game between Tennessee and Kentucky. So that is something to keep an eye on. Old Avery Johnson might be in trouble because his Crimson Tide are now 15-11 and 6-7 in SEC play after losing to Texas A&M 65-56 last night. And it looks like it doesn't look like it will not make the tournament, that being Alabama. And buckle up for that NIT ride, Alabama fans. South Carolina beat Ole Miss 79-64. And I thought it was pretty cool that Ole Miss has a player, Devontae Shuler. He is from South Carolina, and he tweeted after the game. He is a South Carolina native, so playing in Columbia last night, that was like his homecoming of sorts. And he tweeted after the game, "I'll always have love for South Carolina and Frank Martin. I just felt like being home around bad influences would have me somewhere I would not want to be. It's many stories of why I did not stay home, and I'm here to tell you what I did was for my family and to keep my career going." And Frank Martin quote tweeted that tweet and said, "You are an unbelievable young man with an awesome family. Keep growing and know that I will always be in your corner for anything you need." That is what coaching and mentoring young men is all about. That is very cool, and Frank Martin gets an early attaboy for that.
Who we got there on the phone?
The one and only Titans Bill.
Titans Bill is back?
Titans Bill is back.
Titans Bill, man.
How you doing, Jason?
Where you been, Titans Bill? Where have you been?
Well, I've been around, buddy. I've been around.
Well, speaking of you being around, there's been a joke.
I've been around, just sort of behaving myself.
You have been behaving yourself, Titans Bill?
Yeah, I've been behaving.
And you've been around?
Yeah.
Let me share a running joke with you. We have a caller who calls in. He goes by the name of Neyland Mafia. And Ben, all of a sudden, thinks that is your son, Neyland Mafia, because y'all kind of sound alike on the phone. Do you have any kids in West Tennessee?
I'm not married, buddy.
Well, do you have any kids though?
No, I don't have no kids.
So right here today, Wednesday, February the 20th, Titans Bills letting the world know he does not have any kids, and Neyland Mafia is not his kid. So Titans Bill, you are not the father. How about that?
Yeah. You sound like Maury Povich.
Exactly.
He goes, "You are not the father."
That's my nickname, man. I'm the Black Maury.
Jason, I'll tell you, I fell in love with that AFF, that American football, that Alliance of American Football, and I'll tell you, I like the play that's going on, and I sort of like the rules.
I like it too.
Rules of it is on defense, you're only allowed to blitz 5 men. You can't blitz the whole kitchen sink. If you do, they'll penalize you for illegal formation.
Yep, 15 yards. I like that rule.
And another one that I like is no kickoffs.
Oh yeah.
Just the person that wins the toss, just give them the ball at the 25. I'll tell you one thing: the NFL ought to maybe use, and also the colleges ought to maybe use that rule.
I'm sure they thought about it, Titans Bill, for sure. Eliminate those injuries or minimize.
And another one that I like, well, I also like is you have to go for 2 after a touchdown. You can't kick the PAT.
I like that rule.
And I've adopted a team out of that league, the Birmingham Iron.
Oh, wait a minute.
I don't care if they are in the state of Alabama.
Titans Bill, that's too close to Tuscaloosa. They have too many Alabama players. You got 6 Tennessee players on the Memphis Express team, Titans Bill. Come on.
Well, Memphis is too far, and we're not that far from Birmingham if you think about it.
But
Jason.
it's right next to Tuscaloosa, Titans Bill.
Well, still, I'll tell you, when I first saw them over there when I first watched them, they didn't have that very many fans over at Legion Field. They're 2-0. And I would have to say, if I was hosting a call-in show in Birmingham, I'd say, come on, folks. You're 2-0.
Get out there.
They've never lost a game in franchise history.
Exciting football. Go out there and support this team.
Yep.
I'll tell you, Jason, if I were the commissioner, here would be the cities that I would allow expansion to.
Okay.
Nashville, Tennessee, if they're interested in going.
Nashville, okay.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, all right.
Louisville.
The only city that I would not award a franchise to would be Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
They will not support it.
Good idea. Professional football in Detroit is trash. You're right.
So, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, yes. Chicago, Illinois, yes.
Yes.
Because, look, the Bears does not own Soldier Field. I believe, if my mind serves me correctly, which it does, Soldier Field is owned by the city of Chicago.
I don't know about that. I don't know that answer, Titans Bill. But I'm with you. No professional football in the city of Detroit. I'm with you, man.
The city of Detroit.
They'd find a way to mess it up.
They'll find a way to lose every game in the season.
Because I'll tell you one thing. The thing that disappoints me, I thought they really had really great sports fans there.
Yeah.
They had a WNBA team, and they let that get away. At one time, they had a WFL team, and they let that get away. Because why? Lack of support. I'd say, look, I want to at least select a city where they would get a lot of support. Louisville, Kentucky, will they get support? I believe so. Also, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and probably Chicago, Illinois.
What about Honolulu?
Yeah, Honolulu.
What about Anchorage, Alaska? That'd be pretty cool.
No.
Play on ice.
Honolulu, yes. Anchorage,
You heard Titans Bill. Titans Bill, man, don't scare us like that, man. We thought something happened to you. It was like, where's Titans Bill? He hasn't called us in like weeks. It's good to hear from you.
I won't be a stranger, buddy.
All right, Titans Bill. Thanks so much for your phone call, man. Really
buddy.
Appreciate it. Oh, man, I miss Titans Bill. I think we got a lot accomplished in that phone call.
What is the WFL?
No, he said double AFF. I was like, no.
No, and then he was talking about Detroit lost a WFL team.
WNBA team.
Well, then he said WFL team.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The most important part of the call is that we confirm that Titans Bill does not have to play child support. We're good.
I think he's lying.
Back pay. I mean, Nila Mafia is like probably 40-something. I don't know how old Nila Mafia is, but Titans Bill does not have to pay back pay.
No.
Because I would hate for Titans Bill retirement to be taken away from him from UT because because he has to pay child support back pay to Nilla Mafia's mama. That would be bad.
That's true. I think it is a Buddy the Elf situation, to where Buddy the Elf, a.k.a. Nilla Mafia, is aware of who his father is, but his father is not aware of him. And so he needs to travel to Titansville and spend a Christmas with him, celebrating, putting up Christmas trees, making breakfast, doing all these things, making gingerbread houses.
Titansville, you can't be from Knoxville, Tennessee in 2019 and root for the Birmingham Iron when you have 6 former Vols on the Memphis Express team. It just doesn't make sense to me. There's not nutter Tennessee Volunteer on the Birmingham team.
And there's, I don't know, I'm looking for the Alabama. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Alabama players on the team. 8 Alabama players on the team. No Tennessee players.
See, no, Titans-Bill. Absolutely not. You cannot root for the Birmingham Iron. You got to go for the Memphis team. Why do folks think Memphis is not in the state of Tennessee? It's in the state of Tennessee. You got to go with the Memphis team. Come on, Titans-Bill. Come on.
Very disappointed.
Yeah, very disappointing. 865-255-03. Titans-Bill is right. Detroit does not need another professional team.
Heck no.
I wonder who's that calling. I wonder who that is calling. 865-255-03. B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. We're going to take our top of the hour break. We'll come back with touchdown turnover. Then we'll go back to the phones. Titans-Bill was on one this morning.
I mean, I think the truest statement he has ever made is that Detroit does not deserve an AAF team.
Robert says WFL, World Football League, he thinks it was in the 70s.
I did look it up. They played in 1974 and part of 1975.
That's it?
That's it.
That's what happens when you play professional football in the city of Detroit. Bad things happen. Bad things happen. 865-255-03.
I do like the idea of a team in Honolulu. And as well as Alaska, Brian Niedermeyer could be the head coach of the Alaska team.
Could be. I think he's in a sweet spot right now.
The Anchorage Polar Bears.
87 Vol says, our fans have really lost their mind over the last 2 games, freaking out saying we will be lucky to get past the first weekend of tournaments over a couple bad games. Kills me when people that don't know sports try to talk it. 87 Vol on the text box. Yeah, saying that Tennessee's not going to make it past the first weekend is a huge overreaction at this point, but you just never know. You never know. If Virginia can get beat in the first round, being the number 1 seed, losing to a 16 seed, anything can happen. But if I had to put money on it, I'm going to agree with 87 Vol for sure. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen at all. This team is too much of a veteran team to allow themselves not to be ready to go, especially what happened last season in the tournament. I doubt that happens. Hour 2 coming up.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Cloudy today with a 70% chance of rain, highs in the upper 50s, lows in the upper 40s. Partly sunny tomorrow with a 30% chance of showers, highs in the upper 50s again and lows in the mid 40s. More rain on Friday with highs in the mid 50s. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by B-Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, B-Dry can help. BDry.com. Do you have sloping or uneven floors, foundation cracks, or a leaning chimney? Do your windows and doors not open properly, or are there gaps where the floor and walls meet? Don't worry, B-Dry offers approved foundation repair solutions like steel I-beams, helical piering, epoxy injections, carbon fiber applications, and more. Make sure that your home is on stable ground with B-Dry. Call them at 865-588-0454 or find them online at bdry.com.
Have you noticed lack of energy, motivation, and drive? Call the Low T Center and schedule a complete health assessment today. Whether you have sleep apnea and need a CPAP or have low testosterone or low thyroid levels, Low T Center will get you feeling great again. If you're a man over 30 and haven't had an annual checkup, don't wait until you feel bad. Do yourself a favor and get a quick and easy health assessment today. Services are covered by most health insurance. Call 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Goes your car insurance.
Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Alcoa Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union has helped people save money for almost 80 years. Whether it's free checking, financing a vehicle, or purchasing that new home, Alcoa 10 is here to help you. Better rates, better service. Check them out at atfcu.com.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Member NCUA.
Touchdown or Turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Touchdown Turnover backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. Better rates and better service. Man, oh man, oh man. We have a shade alert. Shade alert. What do I mean? Jerry Kill, the former Minnesota football coach, has some really interesting things to say yesterday on Sirius XM Radio. He was interviewed and I guess he was asked about Minnesota. He says, do I still root for the Gophers? I do. Do I enjoy him running up and down the sideline, talking about PJ Fleck? He says no. Do I think that he's about the players? No. He's about himself. Woo! Touchdown Turnover. Is Jerry Kill more keeping it real, or is Jerry Kill more jealous and bitter that he's not the coach at Minnesota? Now, I know this is SEC country. We talk a lot of SEC football. I don't recall Jerry Kill being fired or anything.
No, he retired because of his medical issues, although he is currently the offensive coordinator at the most miserable college football team in the country, Rutgers.
Now, they do have history, so you wonder. I remember when Brian Van Gorder and Paul Johnson had a little bit of history, and that's why Paul Johnson decided to run the score up on Louisville when Louisville played Georgia Tech this past season, because there's a little bit of history, and Paul Johnson did not let up at all. He wanted to score 100 on Brian Van Gorder's defense. I remember that. That was That was fun to watch. But here's an excerpt from SB Nation. Kill, who just became the athletic director at SCS Southern Illinois, put together the staff Fleck replaced when he was hired in 2017. Kill was the head coach at Northern Illinois from 2008 to 2010. During his first 2 years there, Fleck, who is also a Northern Illinois alum, was his receivers coach. Fleck left to join Rutgers in 2010 under Greg Schiano, which Fleck seems to think set the younger Fleck, which Kiel seems to think set the younger Fleck down a bad path. So Kiel did not like his move to go to Rutgers to join Graciano, and it seems like there's been a little bit of a history there between those two. But to answer the question, touchdown turnover, is he just keeping it real, or do you feel like there's some shade, there's some jealousy there coming from Jerry Kiel?
I think there's some jealousy there because here's why. After, the main quote that's pulled out and made into an article, do I still root for the Gophers? I do. Do I enjoy him running up and down the sideline? No. Do I think that he's about the players? No. He's about himself. You can't tell me. You've watched him. You listen to this interview, or his interview, you think he thinks about the players? And then he went on to say this, and this is why I think he is bitter. I just lost a lot of respect. It's kind of like when Jimbo Fisher left Florida State and went to Texas A&M. And Rick Trickett, who was Jimbo's offensive line coach at Florida State, who'd been with him for years and years and years, he never even gave him a call. He just takes off and goes to A&M, doesn't call. Those kinds of things disappoint me in people, so I guess maybe disappointment is a better way to put PJ. Disappointed on how he handled some things. It sounds to me like he is bitter that PJ did not call him about a job. Like, why are you comparing the situation to Jimbo? And let's also notice the subtle shot taken at Jimbo.
Jimbo deserved that shot because, I mean, he ran Florida State into the ground, didn't really care the last year, and then left. And Will Taggart hasn't been great at all, hasn't even been good. But any coach would have had to fix that mess there that Jimbo left behind. So I'll answer this right quick because we got DR Vol on the line. We want to make sure we get to DR Vol, but I think there's a little bit of both, to be honest. So sorry, I don't have an answer. I think it's a little bit of both. I think Jerry Kiel knows a lot about PJ that the public does not know.
Yeah.
And he was throwing a little bit of truth out there, and I think he's also a little bit bitter. So first time in history, a touchdown turnover, then I'm going both on today.
You going both?
I'm going both. Both of these. Both of these answers.
There have been some like rumblings amongst the college football world, like as great as PJ Fleck was in that 1 year at Western Michigan when he had Corey Davis as the receiver, and he's had a decent amount of success at Minnesota by Minnesota standards. Why is he not talked about for all these other jobs that have come up? And the fact that he's corny. A lot of people do not like the whole row the boat thing.
He is a little corny to me.
He is a little bit, and a lot of people have compared him to Bush Jones.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird now that you kind of hear things like this come out after rumblings that he is all about himself. It is kind of weird.
I think there may be a little bit of truth to that. I think Jerry would know a little bit. It could be both. He could be bitter, jealous, and tell the truth a little bit. I think it's a little bit of both. Let's get to DR Vol. DR Vol, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Great, man. How are you?
I'm good. Driving through the rain. I got a 4-watt for y'all for a play I saw last night. Y'all probably remember what I was talking about. Fulkerson, when he was driving in the lane, he had a wide-open layup. Why did he kick that back out for a 3?
I don't know,
didn't
man.
Score at all.
Maybe he thought he was off balance, and maybe he thought he wasn't at the comfortable angle to put the ball up because he did catch the ball in the dead run, which anytime you throw the ball to a post player on a dead run, there's a risk they may travel because they're not used to catching those passes. Now Grant can handle it because he's more nimble on his feet and he has great footwork, but I'm not throwing a pass to a big man running full speed unless he's wide open. So maybe Folky just wasn't ready to put the ball up on the rim, But I do know Lamonte Turner was not happy about it. He let him know about it on the way back down on defense.
I think that's part of the overcorrection that Rick Barnes talked about after the game, too, to where he doesn't realize how good of a shot that he has, and he's still trying to make an extra pass.
Yeah. I mean, he was wide open. And I even wondered, like, what are we doing? Like, what are you doing, Falky? Go dunk that.
That is true. Good point, because he's very bad about tripping over his own feet when he's trying to drive for a layup. So I guess I didn't think about that. But I'm still kind of worried about our perimeter defense, guys. You know, I know y'all had said a stat about their shooting, but, you know, there was a lot of their shots. They go in and out. It wasn't necessarily because of our defense.
Yeah. You know, Neesmith had like two or three that circled the rim and fell out.
I said it earlier, for as much as I love this basketball team, I equally hate its perimeter defense. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But, yeah, there was a guy that called in the post-game show, Basilia. I wanted to get y'all's thoughts, and I'll get off so I can listen. But he said that if you look at the history of Barnes' teams, like at Texas, that this is what he does every year because he rides them so hard emotionally. And, you know, kind of like we've given him crap about not taking players out at the end because he said it'd be disrespect to players. And he said that's what he worries is going on here again. And I'll get off here. And by the way, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is number one.
Yeah, it's definitely in the top three or five for sure. And Cinnamon Toast is really, really good, but I'm not I can't have too much sugar. I've never been like a guy who loves a bunch of sugar. I'm more of a savory guy than a sugar guy. But Cinnamon Toast Crunch is awesome. You're right. It's great. That's an interesting note about Rick Barnes' teams at Texas and them kind of falling off later in the season. I didn't really pay much attention to Rick Barnes' teams at Texas. So
well here's a prime example of one.
Okay.
The 2009-2010 Texas basketball team on January 16th was ranked number 1 in the country. They just beat Texas A&M 72-67 in overtime to improve to 17-0. They finished the season 23-8. I believe they lost 8 of their last 12 or so games. 13. Let me do the quick math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 of 14 they lost down the stretch. That team just completely collapsed after improving to 17-0, climbing to that number 1 ranking, and just collapsed with some bad losses, some double-digit losses. Was not pretty.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and expect that to happen to this Tennessee basketball team. Jay Williams said it perfectly yesterday. Him and Seth Greenberg they were back in the studio talking about Tennessee Vanderbilt. You go through times in a long season where you're on a roller coaster. It's up and down, especially in February. This is what these two guys said. Now, Seth Greenberg did say that Kyle Alexander, if this team is going to be a Final Four team, Kyle Alexander has to give his team more. Mm-hmm. And today, Seth Greenberg did not feel like Tennessee was a Final Four team. And he said he wanted more from Kyle Alexander, which lines up with what Rick Barnes said, that Kyle Alexander has not been a factor for the last 3 weeks, even though last night Rick Barnes feels like Kyle was better.
His demeanor was better.
Yes. I'm not going to sit here and just because of 2 games, one being a blowout loss and one being a game where you didn't beat them by 25 points, worst team in the league, I'm not going to sit here and start tearing down Rick Barnes. I'm not going to do that. I don't think it is, number one, accurate, and I don't think it's fair. I think there's a group of folks that already learned a lesson about trying to rip Rick Barnes before you got enough information. And that group of people had egg on their face ripping Rick Barnes about his recruiting. So I'm not going to do that right now at all because I don't think it's warranted. I think this team, they play a lot of football. I mean, they play a lot of basketball. It's a long season. And here we go, the middle part of February, the back half of the SEC schedule. You're not going to play dominant basketball every single game all season long. You're going to have some adversity. And let's see how they bounce back and let's see how they battle. But I need to see a little bit more before I start comparing this team to Texas 2008 or 9 team when they were number one in the country. And when I'm losing, 8-14, you say?
I believe so. That's just kind of glancing at it. You ready for a fun stat that will bring back bad memories?
Sure.
Last night's game marked 3 games in 6 days. Because Tennessee played South Carolina last Wednesday night, Kentucky on Saturday, and then Vanderbilt last night. 3 games, 6 days. And for half of that chunk of stretch, it was very emotional in the sense of just getting amped up for the Kentucky game. Not only does that drain you physically, but it drains you emotionally.
Well, Ken on the text box says, why would this team be tired? World-class conditioned athletes who play 2 games a week. Come on now. If they're tired, there's a serious problem. Well, 3 games in 6 days, maybe they are. Also, you're gonna get like Grant Williams, man. He has to be sore right now. He's gotten beaten up. He definitely has a sore wrist on his left wrist. He was kind of adjusting it during the second half.
And he's been dealing with something with his knee because he wears that little band just below his knee, and it's not for looks.
Yeah, it's probably tendonitis or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, he had a knee problem last year.
Yeah, it looks like that band was over his patella. So you might have some tendonitis. But, I mean, East Pons, he got basically his face knocked in practice.
He's playing with a broken face.
Yeah, so, like, this is the time of the season where you're going to play sore, and you may not be, like, tired, like, oh, my God, I can't get out of bed tired, but you take beatings and your body wears down a little bit. I do think earlier I said that it doesn't look like it's a confidence thing because we're still shooting open jump shots. Just because you shoot it doesn't mean that you think it's going to go in. You can shoot it because you're told you better shoot open jump shots or you're coming out. Are we shooting with confidence? There's no way for us to know that. There's no way for us to know what's in the mind of Lamonte Turner or Jordan Ballin or Admiral Schofield when they're shooting that shot. There's no way for us to know that unless you ask them. So you can still not have enough confidence and still attempt those open shots. Where's our confidence level? Because some folks feel like maybe our confidence has been changed. Maybe our confidence is different than it was 2-3 weeks ago. Maybe it's fatigue. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But I will not join the traditional sports group that loves to build a person up or build a team up only to tear them down. I'm not going to do that. But there are some concerns. We were talking about it. But sitting here and make it seem like this team's not going to get out of the first round, that's a little extreme. Just a little extreme. But that's what folks love to do in sports. We like to build someone up to only tear them down. It happened with Tim Tebow. It happened with Johnny Manziel. It happened with Baker Mayfield. It happens all around sports. A team that does really, really well, we like to build them up, call them the best team ever. The moment they fall, the moment they struggle, we tear them down. So, not going to do that at all. 865-255-03. We'll go back to the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline after this.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ has a new slew of daily specials for the fall. Enjoy a different special meal every day, like the smokehouse stew, barbecue cheddar meatloaf, or the smoked turkey and dressing, which includes sliced smoked turkey and cornbread dressing paired with sauteed Brussels sprouts, mashed potatoes, and a side of turkey gravy. While Dead End offers a different specialty meal each day, you can get their hillbilly chili every day. There is always something new at Dead End BBQ. Located off of Sutherland Avenue, Dead End BBQ. The fall flavor search is over.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
It's freezing in here, Mary. What's wrong with your heater?
The repairman can't get here till next week.
Sugar, you've got the wrong guy. My guy is fast and has free heating service calls when he does the repair.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Hiller. Take advantage of a free service call with any repair.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
We're here with Dr. Mike Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, or instability, Achilles tendonitis, golfers, or tennis elbow, do what I did and give them a call.
Yeah, Jason, we specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged ligaments, tendons, and joints, including things like rotator cuff injuries, knee instability, elbow problems, as well as foot problems like plantar fasciitis, Achilles, things of that nature, by injecting with stem cells and what's called PRP, or platelet-rich plasma. And this form of treatment we do under ultrasound, so we know we have our target. And it also stimulates the body's own reparative process, and this allows for the healing of damaged tissue. And as you well know, numerous professional and collegiate athletes, guys like Steph Curry, Tiger Woods, and even yourself with your ankle injury, have been using this form of treatment for years. And so we offer that same type of treatment here in East Tennessee.
Visit them on the web at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in regenerative therapy.
Goes your car insurance.
Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
If you aren't following the Swain Event on Twitter, then are you even on Twitter? Hit that follow button. It's the right thing to do.
Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant. Quick basketball note, just really quick, because I know we got a great phone call from Daniel about Tennessee football, but right quick, had this sent to me, and let me go, there it is, Tyler, and I went back and I looked at the 2017 and 2018 Villanova basketball team that won the national championship last year. And Tyler said that Villanova lost 3 games in the last 8, and they still went on to win the national championship. And so I pulled up Villanova's schedule to see these teams that they lost to. February the 7th, last year, Villanova lost to St. John's. Last time I checked, St. John's was not a power. They lost to Providence. They lost to Creighton. I'm sorry. McDermott is not playing on that team anymore. So they lost to Creighton, St. John's, and Providence. And then they ran through the conference championship, which is Big East. It's not the old Big East. It's the new Big East, which is not all that great. But then they ran through the tournament and won championship. They beat Radford. They beat Alabama. They beat West Virginia. They beat Texas Tech, Kansas, and then Michigan in the championship game last year to win 2 championships in 3 years. So Tyler's right. There's no reason to freak out right now. You're gonna maybe stumble in February. It's a long season. It's about regrouping and making a run in the conference tournament and the NCAA tournament. Let's get to
Daniel.
Daniel on the B Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Daniel, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jason.
Hey.
First off, I listen every morning when I'm driving. I can't call in because they don't allow us to use phones. So it's a great show to start with.
Thank you.
E.J. Price, I see where he left Kentucky. He was a high 4-star offensive lineman. They didn't say why he left the team. He just said he left the team. He was, I guess, recruited by USC to start with and transferred to Kentucky from what I was seeing. Do you think that would be an option for us out there? And with the new recruits coming in, I see where Roman Harrison, when they're talking about how big and strong he is, do you think he'll be an instant impact player?
I think Roman Harrison will be, just because he's going to be asked to play early, because you lost so many players on the defensive line in the front seven. So I think he'll be given every opportunity to impact early. And so the answer is yes for Roman Harrison. As far as E.J. Price, the Kentucky offensive tackle who just withdrew from Kentucky, do we need to call Stoops to get permission? I mean, because you know how these SEC East coaches, they get sensitive.
Yeah, we
don't. Do we need to call first, or is he not good?
It's not that he's not good.
He got some drama?
He's got a lot of drama. So here's from the Courier-Journal from John Hale, who covers Kentucky football, the Louisville Courier-Journal, that is. Junior offensive tackle E.J. Price, who started 11 games at left tackle for Kentucky last season, has withdrawn from the university to pursue other opportunities. The decision marks the end of a tumultuous 2 years in Lexington for Price, who transferred to Kentucky from USC prior to the 2017 season. Price briefly quit the team during spring practice in 2018 after sitting out the 17 season per transfer rules with a series of eyebrow-raising tweets criticizing the Kentucky coaching staff. He was back on the team 2 days later, and in an August interview, Mark Stoops said that he was going through a rough patch, or Price thanked Mark Stoops and his coaching staff for helping him through a rough patch. Then, on January 26th, Lexington police were called to Price's residence for a reported altercation between Price and his girlfriend, but that no charges had been filed, according to a police spokeswoman. With Price gone, former five-star recruit Landon Young and goes on to talk about Kentucky's offensive line issues. Ha, take that, Matt Jones. Anyways, I do not want E.J. Price anywhere near this football team, quite frankly.
I understand.
No, thank you.
I could deal with some baggage, not any domestic violence stuff, but I can deal with some baggage. What I can't deal with is a question of, do you love football or not? If you don't love football, Jeremy Pruitt is the wrong coach to play for. He's a wrong coach, because Pruitt loves football than life itself. He loves football. He don't want to talk to you about your article. He don't want to talk to you about attendance numbers or anything. He wants to talk football, period.
Is why I was surprised he agreed to do that walk down the basketball court with Rick Barnes on the Rick Barnes Show.
Hey, man. Maybe he's warming up to it.
I guess so. I hope so.
How do you tell Rick Barnes no?
If you're Jeremy Pruitt, you can't tell him.
Dude, you could be the meanest rattlesnake on the block. Rick Barnes is like the nicest, funniest guy, most genuine dude on campus. You can't say no to him if he wants to do the 94-foot walk with you. No. You got to do it. You got to do it. Yeah, I'm good on E.J. Price.
Yeah, let's let him be.
I'm okay with some D'Angelo Gibbs baggage.
And Aubrey Solomon doesn't have baggage. But
yeah, I didn't hear anything about at Michigan. I knew that Gibbs had some hiccups at Georgia. I'm okay with that as long as he still loves football. And
they're not domestic related.
Correct. I'm good. I'm good. And if they still love football, Price doesn't look like he loves football at all. The last thing we need is offensive linemen trying to be a model. We good on that.
We just had one of those.
We good on that, man. I don't want my offensive line modeling. I want mine nasty, mean, and not taking the shower for 2 or 3 days. That's what I want. That's what I want. Who we got?
We got Jay.
Jay, good morning.
Swain.
What's up, Jay?
Hey. Man, you know what? I was on hold just Googling Egypt Price to see what this kid looked like. One of the first pictures that pops up is Jeremy Pruitt chopping it up at the camp.
Oh, boy. Hey, maybe Pruitt can change him.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe he can change him.
Are we fixing to catch that work Saturday? Because that's what it looks like to me.
Oh, Jesus, I hope not.
I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
I hope not. I
mean, if we're being real, you know, we're about to get to business on Saturday. If you judge by these last 2 games, it don't look good.
If they play like they played yesterday on Saturday, and I'm not talking about effort, I'm talking about shooting the basketball and not making shots, then we could lose. I'm not a guy that's saying that the sky's falling. I'm not saying that at all. But if we don't make shots, then it could be tough. And it's going to be a huge challenge for Kyle Alexander because LSU is probably the best offensive rebound team in the conference. And there better be a great effort in blocking out and being physical in the paint. I wonder how much these referees will let these guys play this Saturday. Because if they let them play, then LSU could probably push Alexander around because they're bigger. But if Kyle is blocking out and these guys going over the back and the referees are calling it, then we should be okay. But we better get some butts on some people when the ball goes up because LSU offensive rebounds really, really, really well.
Well, you know, look, we got out-rebounded by Kentucky, whose front court is 6'8" and 6'8". These guys are 6'10" and 6'11". These are some big boys we're about to play. And I don't know. I'm not hitting the panic button yet, but it ain't looking good. And they're going to have to do a complete 180 from what I've seen the last 2 games to beat LSU. And if they drop this LSU game, you know, you'd hate to say hit the panic button on a team that's 22-3, but they're starting to play tougher teams, and they're not looking good.
If Tennessee loses to LSU, you have to hit the panic button in terms of winning the SEC regular season title. You have to.
Yeah, they're not going the right direction. Now, I didn't want to say anything before the Kentucky game because, you know, you just don't want to be that guy that, you know, everybody's excited and there's a lot of excitement around a game, and you don't want to be the guy that says, yeah, I think we're about to get beat. Because, I mean, it's just I did. Like, we just felt stagnant, and Kentucky felt like they were getting better and better and better. And I just felt like we were not – I didn't feel like we were getting worse, but I just feel like we were just kind of in the mud, not going anywhere. And it's going to be interesting, man. But if we lose this LSU game – I mean, if we lose the LSU game, we're not winning the East or the SEC, Ben, are we? I mean, there's no way.
You would have to – if Tennessee loses to LSU, you would have to win out, and LSU would have to lose 2 games against crappy teams, and that's not happening.
Yeah, and that's not happening. And Kentucky could still possibly win it too.
Mm-hmm.
What's the goal? What's the end goal, Jay, for this basketball team?
You know what? It's unfair, but people remember what you do in March. Nobody cares. If you go 31-1 like Virginia and lose in the first or second round, nobody cares.
So
if you're a 6th seed and you go to the Final Four, everybody loves you.
Well, so speaking of that 6th seed, or speaking of a 6 spot in the rankings in the coaches poll. In 2016-17, the South Carolina Gamecocks, remember, they went to the Final Four.
Right.
And they got hot at the right time. And they got some favorable matchups. But they lost, oh my gosh, they lost 5 of their last 7 in February. They got beat in the first round of the SEC tournament against Alabama. And then they were matched up against Marquette. They were a 7th seed. They beat Marquette. And remember, they go on the next game and they beat Duke. Then they beat Baylor. And then they beat Florida. And then they lose to Gonzaga in the Final Four. So we can panic. If Tennessee loses to LSU. That's fine. But it still doesn't mean that Tennessee can't get to the show, which is the Final Four. I think they still can. I think recent evidence proves that they can. You look at Villanova. You look at South Carolina. You can still get it done, even though you're not playing your best basketball, or you drop some in February.
Well, Swain, you're right, and that's the great thing about March. I mean, it's exciting. It's one and done. It's anybody can win, but sometimes the best team doesn't always win the title because it's one and done.
That's
true. It's literally one and done. You have one off night, and you're going home, and that's the thing. Anybody can do it. So it almost kind of waters down the regular season in a way, but you're right. I guess we'll see. I mean, we really don't know until what they do in March, but it would just be bad to see they put in all this work. They won a lot of games, and then now that we start playing some tough teams, some better teams, we don't do as well. I think that could hurt their psyche, guys. I'll get off here.
Thanks, Jay. There's nothing abnormal about looking at this team and wondering what we're going to do down at LSU.
Being concerned.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
I would say you're crazy if you're not concerned.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But you asked Jay what the end goal is. I think there's 2 goals: to win the SEC championship and to win the NCAA championship. And, there you can debate, is the SEC regular season title or is the SEC tournament championship, which one weighs more? For me personally, I think the SEC regular season title weighs more just because it's a bigger resume. So it's a longer quote-unquote season. Kind of like with the tournament, anybody can get hot and go on and win the SEC tournament. If you happen to play your best basketball the week of the SEC tournament, you're going to have a chance at winning the SEC title, and you still could have finished 7th or 8th in the league. So to me, winning the SEC regular season title is more impressive than winning the SEC tournament. So that's at risk right now. There's really no reason this team shouldn't win the SEC title. In my opinion, they are good enough, and it will be a disappointment if they don't win it.
Yeah. My end goal is everyone's going to say win the national championship, but you got to get to the Final Four to be able to do that. And so I'm eyeing the Final Four. Final Four is what's important because South Carolina 2 years ago was 7 points away from playing for the national championship. And we saw Michigan play for the national championship last year and lost to Villanova. Just get to the Final Four. Just get to the Final Four is my goal. Not saying that I don't think that the SEC regular season championship is important, but we did that last year, and we still lost to Villanova, and it took away a little bit for me the regular season championship because we should have beaten Loyola. We should have beaten those guys. Cal was out. Shots didn't go in, but I thought we should have beat them. Not taking anything away from Loyola Chicago. They're great. They were a great basketball team, but to play like we played last season and to not get further in the tournament, I'm about how far we get into the tournament. That's what my focus is. So Final Four, that's the end goal for me. Regardless of what happens against LSU or Kentucky, that's what I want to do, and I think that's still attainable. Think about how crazy this is. The year that South Carolina went to the Final Four, it was just 2 years ago. 2016, 2017 season.
Feels like 5 years ago.
Dude, do you know South Carolina beat Tennessee 82-55 in that game? 82-55. 27 points. Young Grant Williams only had 8 points in 33 minutes. Young Admiral Schofield, only 7 points in 35 minutes. The leading scorer was
Robert
Hubbs. This was just 2 years ago.
How many did he have? Like 20-something?
No, he had 16. Got smashed in the second half.
I just feel like a lot of people are saying, oh, well, there's still plenty of time to get it corrected by the tournament, which is true. And at the end of the day, if I had to pick between one or the other, I'd much rather win the NCAA tournament than win an SEC championship. But both are the goals. You want to win both. And to me, it is significant and important to win your league. And sure, March Madness is quote-unquote more important, but why can't both be viewed as a goal that you want to obtain?
Yeah, I want to do both, but we did only one last year, and if I had to pick only one this year, it would be NCAA tournament.
Absolutely.
Over the conference tournament. And so I did point out South Carolina 2 years ago and Villanova last year to show that you can go and win big or get to the Final Four dropping games in February. Someone else proved that you can do it. Why can't we do that? So only dropped one game, only lost one game, and that was to a team that's playing their best basketball right now, that's very talented, in Kentucky. Let's see what happens against LSU. 865-255-03, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. We will go to the text box after this.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. The next thing you know, you're being arrested for DUI. Be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call DUI and criminal defense attorney Marcos Garza. Put this number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty, say Garza. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Guys, have you noticed lack of energy, motivation, and drive? It could be low T or something else like sleep apnea or even low thyroid. It starts with a quick and easy health assessment to better understand your health. And now they treat more than just low T, including sleep apnea, low thyroid, and more. It is covered by most health insurance. So if you've been feeling grumpy, tired, have you noticed a weight gain or loss of muscle, call 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Craving flavors that don't take hours in the kitchen? Mrs. Grissom's cheese spreads and chicken salads are the perfect go-to. Ready-to-eat meals and snacks found in the meat or dairy section at your local grocery store. Whether you crave the classic Mrs. Grissom's pimento cheese or the gluten-free select varieties like the cranberry pecan chicken salad, enjoy small-town flavor in every bite. Select the best. Select Mrs. Grissom's.
Are you ready to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Then call me, Jennifer Morris, with Keller Williams Realty at 865-694-5904. Listen to what the Townsend family had to say.
After having listed our home with another agent, Jennifer's marketing approach was a breath of fresh air. She priced our home competitively, strategized the best time to list, and began planning our open house. She aggressively negotiated with the buyer and kept us informed during the entire process. Jennifer took away the stress of selling our home, and we would not hesitate to use her again in the future.
Are you ready to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Then call me, Jennifer Morris, with Keller Williams Realty at 865-694-5904.
Goes your car insurance. Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy.
All right, we got Attaboy here on the Swain Event. Attaboy is where we highlight positivity. So let's do that today. And I think one of our favorite athletes is on Attaboy today.
Before we get to that, I had two other quick ones. First, I got to give an attaboy to the baseball team because they destroyed Northern Kentucky 18-0 last night. Have now outscored opponents 29-0 on the season, I believe. Quick math off the top of my head.
We coming, Vanderbilt. We coming.
Have not allowed a single run all season.
Vanderbilt.
Now,
you ready? You ready?
Granted, the teams, since he's played Appalachian State and Northern Kentucky to start the season, they are not that great. This weekend will be a much bigger test for baseball, and I'm interested to see how they do. And then, I don't know if I'm giving it an attaboy, but in the locker room, the football locker room, apparently somebody has printed off a bunch of papers and stuck it to each player's locker. And the top of the paper says, "Never again." And then there's 4 columns. And the first column, it's a Florida logo, 47-21. The second column is a Georgia logo, and it says 38-12. The next column, Alabama, 58-21. And then the last one, South Carolina's logo, 27-24. So it looks like the boys have some bulletin board material that they created on their own to remind themselves of what they went through last year and not to ever let that happen again. I like it. I like doing things like this.
Yeah, I was on campus last week, and I did see this paper, and
humble brag.
Hey, no, I'm just letting you know. No brag. I'm not bragging about going up there. But I was up on campus last week, and I did see the same photo inside of a room upstairs with the coaches do their business, and I did not want to take a picture and put it out because I didn't know if they wanted that information out. I thought that was like an internal thing that only they wanted to see and use as motivation. I didn't want our motivation be used as motivation for South Carolina too, because if I was on a team, let's say if I was on Kentucky or Auburn and I said never again and had Tennessee's loss as one of their listed items, then if I'm in Tennessee, I would take that as motivation too. Oh, you say never again? Oh, no, I'm going to work hard to prove that it is going to happen again. So I didn't know whether I should put that out or if it was right or not to do that, but I like it. Look at that every single day. When you're working out, when you're training, when you think you're tired, when you think you're hurt, when you think you've done enough, look at that because that should motivate you. You should have beat that South Carolina team. You got embarrassed in some of the other games.
No, absolutely. I like it. You said to remind you that you haven't done enough. I like it if you're contemplating, should I, if you're a receiver and you're contemplating, should I get on the jugs today? Should I go catch 50, 100, 150 footballs? And you're like, nah, I'm not feeling it today. And then you walk back into the locker room and you look in your locker and you see those scores and you think to yourself, okay, what has Georgia done today to get better? What has Alabama done today to get better? What has Florida and South Carolina done today to get better? I mean, it's just a constant reminder of you didn't put enough work in last season. You better put in the extra work today in this offseason. So that's why I kind of like it.
Yeah, Chad Johnson had this thing in his locker that he would put his numbers. So it'd be like a chart, and it would have each team that they play. So in this case, we played Georgia State first, BYU, and then UTC third. Okay, so you would have your catches, your receiving yards or whatever stats, drops or whatever for each game. It's like a chart. And so Chad Johnson did that in the NFL when he was with the Bengals. So I did the same thing my senior year because I wanted to see kind of where I was, not because I cared only about my stats, but if I know if I'm being, an impact on our team, then I was helping my team have a better chance of winning the game. Not necessarily being selfish or thinking it was all about me, like Antonio Brown, who didn't care about losing the game as long as his numbers were right. Not that at all, but I wanted to kind of see how involved I was, and did I drop a pass? Did I get that extra yard after the catch instead of going down? That's something you think about when you lost those games the way you lost. I mean, every single guy has to think about that. So I like those signs in the lockers to remind guys, hey, you haven't done enough. Now, you really shouldn't need a sign, but I'm okay with it. I'm cool with it. I like it.
Yeah, very cool. And you mentioned when we started Attaboy that this is an athlete that you and I both like, and that is Tim Tebow. The other day at Mets spring training, I don't know the exact question that he was asked, but he was asked something along the lines of following his dreams and playing baseball, because a lot of people have made fun of Tim Tebow for going and chasing this dream of a former football player trying to play baseball. And I've been shocked at how many people have made fun of him over the last 2 years. I don't know why he is made fun of for attempting to go play baseball.
I know
the man
why.
is trying to follow his dreams. Why are we trying to crash that party?
I know why, Ben. Because people who give up on their own dreams like to dream crash others.
Fair enough.
That's why.
Fair enough. But he had a really cool 1:20 clip of kind of some inspiration, so I wanted to play that here on the show for Attaboy.
It's really trying to keep perspective and not letting other people define you, because they sure do want to. And I try to encourage young people all the time to not let the world or other people, outside sources, define you, because you're always going to have critics and naysayers and people that are going to tell you that you won't, that you can't, that you shouldn't. Most of those people are the people that didn't, that wouldn't, that couldn't. And don't be defined by outside sources. You go after your dreams. Succeeding or failing is not making it to the bigs, or it's not necessarily fulfilling that. It's having to not live with regret because I didn't try. And I just feel for all the young people out there that don't go after something because they're so afraid of failing, that you're going to live with a lot more regret than you would have if you tried and you failed. And I'm very passionate about that. And I think the reason that a lot of people don't go after things is because how much you will be criticized. And what if I fall flat on my face? And so fear and doubt and all these things creep in. And I just don't believe that's the healthiest way to live. I don't want to have to live with fear or doubt every day. And, regardless of what everyone here says about me, that doesn't define me. And I'm so grateful that doesn't define me. There's one thing that defines me, and that's what God says about me. And besides that, I get to go live out my dreams and try to help as many people along the way as possible.
Timmy Tebow talking truth.
Bottle that up, and let's drink that every single day, man. Man. 865-250-5503, beat, drop, waterproofing hotline. How can you hate on Tim Tebow, man? How can you do it?
I don't get it. We've said this on the show before, but when he was at Florida, I couldn't stand him just because he terrorized Tennessee every year. I could not stand him. And then I had to deal with him beating the Steelers in the playoffs when he made it to the NFL with the Broncos, and that was miserable to watch. But I don't understand how you can see what Tim Tebow is doing for our society and young people and leading the life that he is, and hate on that man. I really don't. You can't say a bad word about him, and all indication from people that know him is that it's genuine.
Yeah. I'll roll with Tim Tebow, man. Bo says mental fatigue is just as bad as physical fatigue, and this is true. This is true. Ken says 3 games in 7 days, not 6. It is actually six days, Ken, because on Wednesday last week, Tennessee played South Carolina, and they played yesterday. So yesterday was 6 days. Today is 7 because there's 7 days in a week. So sorry to break that to you like that, but yesterday was 6 days. Just saying. Ball Coach 5 says, don't want him, talking about the Kentucky offensive lineman, E.J. Price, who is stepping away from football. Football ain't for everybody at this level. It's not easy. It's not little league where you're doing it for fun. It is a job. It's every day. Whether you are sick, whether you are hurt, whether you don't feel like it, whether you do feel like it, whether your girlfriend broke up with you, whether you got a new girlfriend, whether you got 5 girlfriends, and you don't have enough time to go talk to them all, you better find time to do the workout. It's every day. It's every day. And every day is designed to make you quit. Why? Because if you can last during off-season workouts, and if you can push through off-season workouts and dominate off-season workouts, in-season is a breeze. It's designed to make you want to quit. And some guys ain't built for this. They quit. Or they say, yeah, well, I'm just, I'm just gonna do enough to keep my scholarship. They don't strive to be a starter. They don't strive to get to the NFL. They crumble. They back down. And they say, well, I'll just do enough to keep my scholarship. Because, all my goals of being an all-SEC first team or being NFL players, man, this is hard. I'm going to change my goals a little bit. I'm going to change the bar. I'm going to lower the bar a little bit because this is tough.
Being a college football player is a full-time job.
Yes. Being a college athlete is a full-time job.
Correct.
Full-time. Full-time. All day, every day. Physically, mentally, emotionally, it's every single day. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. I'm with you, Bo. I am with you. Chip Payne says, Swain, PJ Fleck is mini Butch Jones. He's just a used car salesman. Ball Coach 5. Fleck equals Butch Jones 2.0 with a better haircut.
He does have a better haircut.
He's bald, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he's beautiful. Rev Butler says, PJ Fleck is another Butch Jones, except with more results.
How dare you disrespect Butch Jones' back-to-back 9-win seasons and Outback Bowl victory? PJ Fleck ain't never won an Outback Bowl last time I checked. How dare you discredit Butch Jones and his success in Tennessee?
90s Vol says, Amen, never hated him. I hate that he played for Florida. I've never met him in person. He is just a genuine then as he is on camera. Good dude. 865-255-03. Hour 3 is coming up.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
VFL's Jason Swain and Todd Kelly here with our Men on Football and Smoothie segment. Let's discuss some of our favorite smoothies and how they impact our lives. TK, man, tell me which smoothie comes to mind when you think about playing defense?
Swain-O, the Peanut Butter Power Plus and the Power Punch Plus provide the energy needed to make plays every time they take the field. Then you have the Gladiator and the Hawk, nutrition every dominant player has to have. Bottom line, everyone wants to be a dominant player. Now, Swain, you tell me about the offensive side of the ball.
TK, it's simple. You always score with Smoothie King. The shredder personifies what we are going to do to opposing defenses. The Berry Punch and Activator will light up the scoreboard. And in case we need to go into overtime, the Pure Recharge will put us over the top for the win.
Swain-O, you know I love football and Smoothie King. I'm a VFL, a Smoothie King for life. The Chocolate Gladiator and the Chocolate Shredder with the scoop of peanut butter, oh, that's my go-to smoothie. They get a chest bump all day.
Yes, sir. This concludes our Men on Football and Smoothie King segment for today. Don't forget the Sip by Sip program. Use Smoothie King as a meal replacement 5 or more times a week, and you'll feel and see the difference. Smoothie King, the healthy alternative to fast food. Delicious and nutritious. TK.
Don't forget the peanut butter. Yeah, boy.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union has helped people save money for almost 80 years. Whether it's free checking, financing a vehicle, or purchasing that new home, Alcoa 10 is here to help you. Better rates, better service. Check them out at atfcu.com.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Member NCUA.
You're listening to the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com.
Eight 865-255-03 B Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Right now, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical until the end of the month has a $99 heating tune-up for that great price. Only $99. Also, 50% on all repairs. So take advantage of the $99 heating tune-up. Also get 50% off all repairs. And that offer ends February the 28th. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Memphis to Knoxville, anywhere in between. Bowling Green and Huntsville, Alabama. Follow them on Twitter at Happy Hiller. Happy you will be, or the service is free. 865-255-03. Tennessee last week played South Carolina on a Wednesday night. On a Wednesday night. They had Thursday, no game. Friday, no game. Saturday, you play Kentucky. Sunday, no game. Monday, no game. And then you come back and then you play Vanderbilt on a Tuesday. So, is it fatigue? I think that's a question for Rick Barnes. That's a question for the strength and conditioning staff. We saw them yesterday, and we saw some mistakes that Jordan Bone has not made that much of during the season. So you wonder. I think they will be okay, though. Again, 865-255-03, B Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Swami took a screenshot of you, Ben, when Titansville was on the line. My man Ben McKee with the patented Titansville facepalm.
Yeah. I don't know what was happening during that phone call. All I got out of that is that Titansville thinks that An AAF football team should be in Honolulu, but not Alaska.
Tice Bill said AFF. I was like, oh.
The AFF.
He said AFF. I was like, huh? What?
Trying to talk about the NAA.
Yeah, I ain't know what he was talking about. But I really do like that league. I hate that like I have to like consciously look for it on like CBS Sports, which is a channel that I don't really watch unless it's March Madness.
Unless you need it like you do for the AAF.
Yeah, like I'm not used to going to that channel. I got DirecTV, so I'm hitting 206, 207, 208, 209. That's ESPN, and the SEC Network is 611. I'm hitting NBA basketball, so I'm going to watch TNT with Chuck and Kenny and Shaq. So that's 245. I know some of the channels there with the NBA and NFL Network. It's like 211, 212, something like that. I know my cooking channel is like 220. But I'm not used to going to CBS Sports Network. And so I got to get used to following the AAF on those channels.
I believe it's channel 220 because 219 is FS1. No, it's 221. That's what it is. CBS Sports Network is 221. I believe the NBC Sports Plus or whatnot, whatever it's called, is 220. Somewhere in there. I'm with you. I have all my sports channels down pat on my parents' DirecTV guide. Like 212 is the NFL Network. 213 is the MLB Network. The NHL Network is 215. I think NBA is 214, 211 or 214.
I think so, man. I think so.
Speaking of the AAF, they had some news yesterday to where the Carolina Panthers, or not Panthers, Hurricanes, the NHL team that is in Raleigh there, has purchased, or not purchased, but given.
They gave the AAF $250 million, and now he is
chairman.
He's a chairman of that league because they did not make payroll.
The word The Athletic used is came to the rescue. NHL owner rescues fledgling AAF with much needed cash infusion.
Well, what had happened was that the AAF's checking and savings account, it just wasn't communicating properly. And there was some type of malfunction or something. I mean, that's what Kevin Hart said, right? Like, you know, they tried to swipe their card. The card didn't work. Had to rub it on the jeans, make sure something. That's a bad look, though. First paycheck, and you can't pay the paycheck.
Yeah.
That's a bad look. And I'm rooting for that league. I think it can be very, very successful. I love the technology that comes with that league and how they keep the fans, kind of plugged in. I like the rules. I like not having kickoffs. I think kickoffs are important for the NFL, for college, but for a developmental league, a secondary league, there's no reason for them to have the same rules. I am triggered as a Bears fan. I don't want to see a kicker anyways. I don't want to see a kicker ever again. I'm triggered. Until the Bears get a kicker that can make field goals when it matters most, I don't want to see a kicker anyways.
A kicker that doesn't go doink doink. Do you?
Correct.
So when you go to the zoo the next time, whenever that is, and you are walking by the pigs,
it'll be soon,
and they oink oink, are you going to have nightmares?
No, I'm going to get hungry.
Fair enough. And then you're going to want to go to Dead End BBQ.
Correct. I'm going to want bacon.
No,
I want some bacon.
But according to The Athletic, the league was running short on cash, and quickly, without new investors, there was a good chance it was going to miss payroll last Friday, and the players weren't even paid until yesterday, as soon as that $250 million check cleared from the Hurricanes' majority owner, Tom Dundon, a self-made billionaire from Dallas, has become the nine-figure investor. He will be introduced as the league's new chairman after last week's commitment of $250 million that enabled the AAF to meet its obligations.
I need somebody to come be the chairman of the Swain Event. Let me get a check. Who wants to be the chairman of the Swain Event? Now, I'm still going to do the work now, but you just be the chairman. I can give me a check. My goodness.
For me, the AAF still lacks the names for me. I mean, I get that the Trent Richardsons are playing, but like I'm not tuning in on Saturday or Sunday to watch Trent Richardson washed up self
rush
for 50 yards.
But it's football.
correct, but to me, it's not the product that the NFL is, obviously, or the product that college football is. And I don't know. To me, it just doesn't move the needle for me.
Let's be honest. You don't know half of the linemen with the NFL teams, anyways. Except unless it's your team.
Not off the top of my head, but if somebody reads off the names of the linemen, I'd be like, oh, I recognize those names. Like, I can't sit here and tell you the starting 5 offensive linemen for the Minnesota Vikings, but I bet you if you told me who they were, I'd recognize them.
But would you be able to do the same thing in the AF league if they read off some names? You'd be like, oh, okay, I remember that dude, man.
Yeah, because half of the AF is like SEC 2.0. It's like all the washed-up SEC players, especially for the Birmingham Iron. All it is Auburn and Alabama players.
That's true.
What Chris Davis is playing in the league. Obviously, Trent Richardson, Zach Stacy, the former Vanderbilt running back, he rushed for 100 yards over the weekend with the Memphis Express. But I'm a little different sports fan, too, as to where, like, I like all sports. And so, like, on Sunday, like, to me, I know I'm in the minority, but to me, watching the Daytona 500 was more entertaining. Watching the Lady Vols was more entertaining. Watching Tennessee softball was more entertaining, play the number 1 team in the country. For me personally, those sporting events are more important than watching the AAF. It's more entertaining to me.
I mean, look at this, man. Look at the Birmingham Iron. They got Blake Sims on the team and Trent Richardson. This is Titans Bill's favorite team now. You got Quan Bray, who's a receiver at Auburn. Quentin Patton, I remember him when he was at Louisiana Tech. He was a baller.
Mm-hmm.
Who are these guys? Never heard of him. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. Oh, Trevon Reed at Auburn. Zach Mettenberger, Memphis. Hey.
You also have Christian Hackenberg on that team.
He's a backup to Christian Hackenberg? Come on, Mettenberger.
And then, like, I recognize Brandon Silvers. Was he the quarterback at Troy when Troy almost beat Tennessee? Or was he I think he was the most recent quarterback at Troy. But I recognize that name. Zach Stacy is a big-time name. He was a big-time running back at Vanderbilt. But other than that, on the offense for the Memphis Express, I only recognize the Tennessee players, Pig Howard, Dallas Thomas.
Brad Wing, punter, LSU. Hey.
Oh, yeah. Let me just tune in to watch that.
Hey.
No, the
punter you, man. We pay attention to punting now,
I pay attention to Tennessee punters. Tennessee punters. To PU.
We are experts at the art of punting now, so we pay attention to Brad Wing.
That's true. Like, I recognize the name Montour Hughes. Obviously, he played at Tennessee Martin. Was a very good defensive lineman. Coy Vereen. But I don't know. It's just there's other things that I am more entertained with in the world of sports. And to me, it's on second television or laptop screen. There's other things I'd rather watch.
Oh, man. Eddie breaking down this 3 games in 7 days. I guess I'm looking at it because they play like Wednesday night. So you look at Thursday being the first day. But hey, tomato. You want to say 3 games in 7 days? Cool. You want to say 3 games in 6 days? Cool. Whatever. Chico. Miss me yet? From Robbie Gold. Yes. Wasn't my decision to cut you, Robbie. I will have you back right now. Kicking for my Bears. Chip Payne. Can anyone explain to me why does Kentucky get to play on Tuesdays while every opponent that they play on Saturdays, Kentucky's opponents play on Wednesdays every week? I don't know. I never thought about it.
Because the SEC officiating office is based in Lexington.
Yeah,
the basketball officiating.
I don't know, man. I haven't thought about that.
It is weird when you think about it.
I guess. 90s Vol says playing 2 physical teams like South Carolina and Kentucky is going to make any team a little tired, in my opinion. This long week off should help. Hopefully it does. Let's see here. D. Cody says, I also agree that Kyle and Folke and Pons need to take another step up to help this team rise to another level. We get these guys going, and it's truly on. Kids would say this team is lit. Daniel on text box, give me a shout, and we'll make that happen whenever you guys get up to Knoxville, just give me a shout. Love to meet you. Tremel from Chattanooga. Appreciate the love. I can't read it. Appreciate the love, though. Josie Wells bring up a really good question on the text box, because I was thinking about this last night. DJ Burns is redshirting right now, and he has a little bit more meat on his bones. And you look at Kentucky with Travis and PJ Washington and some of those other guys, Richards. They're bangers, and they got a little bit more meat on their bones than Kyle Alexander. DJ Burns, obviously, he's going to be more in shape and more fit, more lean next year than he was when he arrived. You look at the before afters with Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield, but adding some beef down low may be an adjustment that Rick Barnes makes to kind of combat what Kentucky did with us from last season to this year. They added more beef to try to compete with Tennessee's physicality. Maybe Tennessee goes in a different direction. Not saying Kyle Alexander is not a good player and hasn't been good for us, but maybe that's the last little bit to get over the hump if Tennessee does, in fact, fall a little bit short on their goals.
But do you burn his red shirt for one game?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about the type of player that you recruit moving forward.
They've got one on the bench that he doesn't play. And Derek Walker. Derek Walker is when you take in basketball skill away, he's physical and strong enough to bang with Reed Travis and PJ Washington.
And I wonder why he didn't play more.
I don't think he trusts him on the defensive end.
There it is.
I don't understand last night when the offense is struggling why Jalen Johnson doesn't get more minutes. Somebody please explain that to me. He's got a pretty stroke. The offense is struggling.
Defense. I think we have a theme here. While guys are not playing. Defense.
Yeah.
Defense. Remember, Lamonte Turner was told when he first got here, you can shoot, but you ain't going to play unless you're playing good defense.
That's true.
Swain Event. Be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Have you noticed lack of energy, motivation, and drive? Call the Low T Center and schedule a complete health assessment today. Whether you have sleep apnea and need a CPAP or have low testosterone or low thyroid levels, Low T Center will get you feeling great again. If you're a man over 30 and haven't had an annual checkup, don't wait until you feel bad. Do yourself a favor and get a quick and easy health assessment today. Services are covered by most health insurance. Call 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Are you looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Then call me, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904. Listen to what the Tarver family had to say.
Jennifer was our realtor recently and helped us find our dream home. She also helped us sell our home, and we had a signed contract in only 2 days. Her greatest strengths are her patience and personality. We never felt pressured, and I would highly recommend her in buying and selling a home.
Call me, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
It's freezing in here, Mary. What's wrong with your heater? The repairman can't get here till next week. Sugar, you've got the wrong guy. My guy is fast and has free heating service calls when he does the repair.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Hiller. Take advantage of a free service call with any repair.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible. But remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty. Say Garza. 865-540-8300. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Goes your car insurance. Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Eight 255 beat dry waterproofing hotline this morning on a beautiful Wednesday here in East Tennessee. I wish it would stop raining though. Every day is a beautiful day in East Tennessee, but I do wish it would stop raining. Can a brother go outside? Can I get some fresh air outside without getting hit with these big ass raindrops?
Man, last night, so I went and covered the baseball game before the basketball game last night, and it started pouring down rain when it was time to walk from the baseball field back to Thompson Bowling. And I did not have a rain jacket on. I didn't have an umbrella. I was soaking wet by the time I got to the basketball game. What is this?
Can we hold off on the rain for a little bit? Let the brother get some sunshine. Go outside and skip around the neighborhood, please, 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 please. Whew. Man. 865-255-03. Volin Birmingham's people are paying attention to the AAF because they actually hit, unlike the flag football game of the NFL. I think that hit on the quarterback in the first weekend made people go, whoa.
I mean,
whoa.
That grabbed my attention.
Wait, no penalty flag? Oh, yeah, I like this league. I mean, we watch football to watch people get hit. We love the physical nature. This is why the UFC has been so popular. And boxing has been threatened with not being important anymore because people want to see violence. They do.
Have we seen the ratings for week 2 of the AAF? I'm asking because I have not seen them. Because obviously with week 1, people are going to tune in just because of the intrigue of something new. How was it in week 2? The only thing that I've seen involving the AAF this week is the $250 million investment from the Carolina Hurricanes owner.
We need the AAF. We need it. We need it because there's football fans who are not fans. They're not like you, Ben. They don't, pay attention to women's basketball.
The only thing they pay attention to is football.
Yeah, and that's fine. And the AAF fills that void for them. There's folks who don't like NASCAR. There's folks who don't like soccer. There's folks who don't like golf or don't like watching it. They don't like watching other sports. They are football fans, and that's perfectly fine. Doesn't make you a better sports fan. That just means you're not a well-rounded sports fan. That's cool. We do miss football at this time of the year. Yes, the Super Bowl is this joyous occasion, and man, it's awesome. All the stuff that goes around it, the Super Bowl parties and the commercials, but you also get that swift kick in the butt there in the fourth quarter that this is the last bit of football for a very, very, very long time. Oh, it's all good in the first half. It's all good at halftime. It may be still good in the third quarter, but the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, this is the last 5 minutes of football you're going to get until August. Maybe the end of July when you have the Hall of Fame
game. And even that's usually the first week of August, I believe.
No, it's actually like a date of July or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, hold on.
I don't think it is.
It's around that time because it's actually a week after guys start reporting. They report and like a week later guys are playing.
Right.
Yeah. What did you see?
I'm trying to.
The research department team.
Research department team is not Saturday, August 3rd.
August 3rd. So right there.
Well, that's the enshrinement for the ceremony. It's like that first weekend of August.
Yeah.
Because that's when they start playing the preseason games.
Yeah, that first game is the Hall of Fame game where they play right there in Canton, Ohio. And that's the next football you're going to get. Now, for the college football fans, you'll get a little bit of spring football, but a lot of schools are not even really hitting.
No, and so in 2017 it was August 3rd, and then this past year was August 2nd. So
gotcha.
Close enough.
Yeah, so you report the last week or so of July, then next week you're playing preseason games. It's quick. It ain't like college football where you're practicing for a whole entire month before you have your first game.
Right.
Because you do OTAs, you do so many things off season because the rules allow you to basically wear a helmet and practice, where in college you can't do those things. You can't have coaches around all the time during the summer. NFL, you can. So you're more prepared to play right then after you report an NFL game. So it's a long time before we get professional football. So the AAF, man, I think it feels that need. The CFL, the rules are a little funky. The offenses, it's the game's built to get a lot of offense, but the rules are a little funky. The field's wider. You got guys running all over the place before the snap of the football. It's a little hard to maybe follow for some football fans. But the AAF has rules that line up more with NFL football.
Right. For me, I somewhat wish the AAF was being played while the CFL is playing during the summer, late spring, like after spring football. Because for me, like, I always miss football, but I'm not in desperate need of football right now. Like, college basketball has my full attention. Tennessee basketball has my full attention. And like I said, for me personally, there's some other sports that I enjoy that are either getting ready to gear up or it's in the thick of things right now. And so there's plenty of sports going on right now to capture my attention. But as soon as the NBA playoffs ends, the Preds kind of playoff run ends, is when college basketball, March Madness ends, that's when I really start to miss football. Is that middle of April, May time frame. That's when I really start to miss football and kind of start to count the days down to Tennessee's first game. So I think I would be more interested in the AAF if it was maybe backed up a little bit further when there weren't so many other sporting events going on.
I get you. That's your personal preference. I respect that. OK in Birmingham says, Tony B made a good point that we need to bring Burns in this year and let him play. This is our year, our actual chance to win it all. our best team in school history could fall short because we don't have big, heavy guys down low to bang with the big Duke and Kentucky guys. You remember in football this past season when everyone wanted Keller Chris? When everyone thought Keller Chris should be the guy. Why did they think that?
Because they hadn't seen him.
A lot of folks just knew. Play Keller Chris. You got to play Keller Chris. And he did this at Stanford. He did this at Stanford. He wouldn't have come here if he wouldn't have been playing. You got to play Keller Chris without seeing him in practice. Keller Chris. You seeing a dude in the game, Jared Garantano. You go against him to go for a guy that you have not seen at all in Orange. And then you have people telling you, guys, Keller ain't ready.
He turns the ball over.
He ain't ready. And then you finally get him, and what did you get? You got turnovers. I look at DJ Burns, and I brought him up not to say that he needs to play now, but that body type, maybe that's what Rick Barnes goes after more instead of the Kyle Alexander type of guys that you have to. It takes you 2 or 3 years to develop them into a player that physically can bang and not get pushed around. I'm not saying put DJ Burns in now because if Walker's not playing, how do I expect DJ Burns to be ready to play?
DJ Burns is not ready. I mean, you can just watch him. He's not in shape to be playing against Kentucky. You're better off playing Derek Walker. You're better off, quite frankly, Grant Williams just needs to step up. I'm not going to use the phrase "man up" because
he is a man.
He is a man, and he plays tremendous basketball. But he needs to step up in that particular matchup. And P.J. Washington has been his kryptonite the past 2 seasons. And he needs to step up and play like the SEC Player of the Year that he is. It's quite frankly what needs to happen. And then Admiral also needs to do a better job when he's matched up on Reed Travis and P.J. Washington. It's really as simple as that.
Yeah.
Play better.
Yeah. I love Tony B. I disagree, though. This reminds me of when folks were warning Keller Chris, and you didn't even see him. You didn't see him in practice. You don't know if he's good or not. You don't know if he's ready. How do you know if he's ready? Why would you want somebody in that you don't even know if he's ready or not?
Just what?
I'm gonna trust Barnes on this one.
Yeah, he's not ready. Could he come in and have an impact against a team like Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, maybe Florida, teams like that? Absolutely. I think he could. He's just that skilled of a basketball player, just a natural basketball player. But in terms of banging with P.J. Washington, who is on the verge of giving Grant Williams a run for his money for SEC Player of the Year, DJ Burns is not ready. And I believe he's supposed to be a senior in high school this year. I mean, just watch him warming up. You can tell he's not ready just yet. He's going to be a good player for Tennessee, but he still needs to tighten up, lean, and he's got too much body fat on him, and to me he still looks somewhat out of shape. And I mean, mentally he's not even locked in. This may be a little TMI, but when he's running through the layup line, he's got a couple of his buttons buttoned, and he doesn't even have his basketball shorts underneath the checkerboard pants. Like, he's not mentally locked in and ready to play. He knows that he's not going to play, and I think you'd be setting yourself up for failure if you did just kind of throw him to the wolves all of a sudden when you told him all along that you're going to redshirt him, and then you're throwing him to the wolves against P.J. Washington.
That's a good point. That's a good point. When you're told up front you're redshirting, I won't say that you're not working hard, but you're not preparing yourself mentally to play. Whereas in football, you know that you are one injury away. So if you are a second team player or third team player, man, you can play. Some freshmen are told, we gonna redshirt you from day one. When you know you're gonna redshirt, that changes your mentality, it changes your focus on a daily basis, and especially on game day because you know you're not playing. Some guys don't even dress out. Some programs make their guys dress out. I don't think playing DJ Burns is the answer. I'm with you. Guys that we currently have need to step up. You probably played against the best front court in Gonzaga, and you banged, you battled, you fought, you won the game. And I'm sorry, Kentucky's front court is not 5 times better than Gonzaga's. We just didn't compete good enough. That's simple as that. Doesn't mean you freak out and you overcorrect by burning a red shirt of a player who really should be in high school right now. You mentioned that. I mean, he's just 18, and I think he reclassified.
He did
to be able to come here.
He did.
So we're gonna put in a senior in high school right now in the middle of the season? No, I think that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, I do too. Like I said, DJ Burns will end up being a good player for Tennessee. He'll play heavy minutes next year, in my opinion, especially if Grant Williams leaves. But that is not the solution to beating Kentucky right now. And Derek Walker needs to step up. I mentioned Admiral Schofield and Grant Williams. Derek Walker needs to step up. He has the type of body that can bang with P.J. Washington on the block, that can bang with Reed Travis, that can go up and rebound. He's athletic. To me, it looks like he's afraid to make a mistake, and he's second guessing, and instead of playing basketball, he's trying to guess how to play basketball.
This is the mistake we make as fans. When a player is not playing, we do this. This is a mistake we make as fans, and this is a mistake that is made in sports talk radio and TV talk shows, is that we go and we look at the coach. Well, why is Kelly Chris not playing? Well, it got to be on the coach. Well, wait a minute. Why is this player playing? He should be playing. He did this in high school. He played last year. Why is he playing? What's the receiver from Naples
on Tennessee's roster?
Yeah,
Tyler Bird.
Why isn't Tyler Bird playing? This was last year. Why is he playing? Well, he hasn't played with two different staffs. Why is he playing? It got to be the coaches. Well, why isn't Derek Walker playing? Got to play Derek Walker. What's Rick Barnes doing? We look at the coaches, but the question we need to be really asking ourselves is, why hasn't the player done enough to make the coach play him? Because that's the truth.
Now, I do think with Tyler Bird, Butch Jones will run that one up by not allowing him
I ain't
to
talking
play
about Butch Jones. I'm talking about two different staffs.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, it will be one thing if Tyler Bird was playing